Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Go Buff Yourself Presents City of the Crimson Tower. I'm once again joined by my incredible friends here who have taken time out of their busy schedules to play this geeky game. So thank you all so much for being here. And before we jump in with announcements and the game, I wanted to give a shout out because I know a few of you all have been traveling or had conventions of some variety. So let's hear about some of the cool stuff you've been doing since we've seen you last.
I was in LA. I went to Command Fest LA. It was awesome. I had so much fun. Debuted a new cosplay and played a lot of Magic. And then this weekend I'll be at PAX West. I had to think of directions for a second. PAX West will be super fun. My dogs are barking ominously. I'm not worried at all for any dogs.
That's not foreshadowing for tonight's session in any capacity.
Well, this past weekend, we rocked it at a tattoo art and craft fair. I seriously couldn't do anything without my best friend, who is, in the lower left-hand corner of your screen right now eating, it looks like popcorn or something. No French fries. It looks like veggie sticks. But Lauren was amazing this weekend helping me out, and I transformed into the other mother. It went really great. We learned a lot from the situation. And I'm so grateful for her. And thank you, Ethan, for lending me your wonderful wife. Happy belated birthday to Mav.
And happy belated birthday to Mav. An incredible player and friend.
Milestone XP sucks, but I got it anyway.
It's better than not getting the milestone.
True facts. True facts. And I didn't have to kill a bunch of rats in the cellar. So there you go. No rat ratting.
You want some? We're in a cellar. No, I can throw some. It's in my
I don't
power.
like swarms. I know it is, but maybe, just maybe, not use that power now. Thanks.
Okay. And Maddie, I saw you got shared on the Crit Roll page with one of your cosplays, yeah?
Yeah, third time actually.
Hell
in the last week. I don't know what's going on.
Damn.
I started posting, and then all of a sudden, just like my friends start freaking out in the group chat. I'm like, oh fuck. Yeah, happened 3 times.
Hell yes. That's awesome.
Well deserved.
All right. So with that, let's go ahead and get into our announcements so we can jump in. Announcements. This is an 18+ stream. And content warning. This is going to contain topics and discussions of animal harm tonight. So, at minimum discussions, be warned of that. There's no shame in not being comfy with that. Come back in like 45 minutes and we'll probably be past that. Maybe. Nope, don't. Do it gently. But honestly, for tonight, I think that's the main announcement because I am ready. I don't know about you all, but I'm ready to get back into this. So let's run it before Chapter 9 of the City of the Crimson Tower. Feed him. That's what the inscription had said. On the altar, here in this chamber in the sub-basement. Here with that chanting. She is the ancient. She is the land. Since first reading that, you've gone back through the house and found a scrappy old dog. The tag around the neck read Lancelot. At one point all black, now that sugar dusting of white across the face, but still these big brown eyes, immediately taking cover behind Karina. And then when you lifted him by the scruff, tail wagging, happy panting. And that's when you all went back to the basement. Between here and there, Gloria quickly looked over some scrolls, folios, books that were found in a hidden alcove of the master library. And while doing so, even just briefly, these occult texts, there was something that immediately made you think these can't be correct. And you came to that conclusion at roughly the same time that you all descended once more into the stony sub-basement here. The room that you all currently stand in, dusty stone, rectangular. There are small alcoves in the wall, only about a foot maybe in height and narrow. Looks like a reliquary style room. The portcullis that you had that Hawthorne and Nine had previously lifted once again down, the pathway leading towards the submerged altar room, getting more and more flooded as it descends. And Gloria stands here with these papers in hand. Karina with Lancelot in her arms. And that's where we pick up.
So, Karina hasn't looked back at any of you since she started this journey down here. And she's standing there with Lancelot just tucked under one arm. Just a foot or so away from the gate. And she's just gonna stop.
Karina, I had a chance to look over some stuff, and I'm doubting what we think we know.
What do you mean?
I feel like as I read these things about the occult, it all feels wrong. None of it seems real, like all the documentation. I don't understand. I think we should wait for a second. I kind of scritched the dog's ears. I think maybe we should just spend a second looking over it. I don't know. I was pretty sure we had to have a sacrifice, but now I'm not sure.
She's gonna wait a second before she kind of lifts the dog up, Simba style, in front of her. She's finally actually looking down at the dog. I don't want to kill it. If you have something else we can do, I don't want to kill this thing.
So I know that when I looked at the papers, that's when I rolled with 2 raises. And as I was looking through it, I saw that none of it made sense, and it made me think that a lot of this was faked. Did I get any sense about why, or if there was another path forward, or anything like that?
When you say why, what about it made you think that it was fake, or why were they practicing it?
Why were they practicing it if it was fake?
So that's a combination between what you found and then your insight, but with 2 raises. Absolutely. Why they were still following if it was fake. The ceremonies that you see here are ones intended to do normally, or it seems generally, one of 2 goals. Artificially extend life, and to punish. To cause pain or to change the subject. Those are the goals. You can tell that. But the rituals themselves, the ingredients and recipes they call for are so cliche and untrue. Like, one of them literally has Eye of Newt. Like, it's you're reading like, okay, kids. But as to why, whoever was in charge of this wanted those things and was willing to believe that they worked.
I don't think any of these rituals are real, but that doesn't really help us know how to move forward.
So what you're saying is if I were to feed him, it would do nothing anyway?
I'll admit that that's my fear. My fear would be that even if there is something there that would eat the dog, it wouldn't necessarily help us.
Then what do we do? This is all we had.
That's a great question. I do think that I look around to the other people around us. I think this is a point where maybe we want to think about what we know. I remember after you ran into the mist, I heard something in my head and like talking to me. And now there's these fake rituals and it all feels very orchestrated. I feel a bit like a lab rat running around inside an experiment, and I'm just now seeing that I'm in one.
Like somebody's entertainment. Somebody's game.
I have to feel like the person that wrote these fake rituals. I don't know, it does seem like there's somebody who is watching or finds this entertaining in some way.
We heard that voice. Do you think that voice belongs to same as the one that spoke to you before?
Wait, you heard
Perhaps
a voice too?
Yeah, I thought we all did.
Okay, I also thought we all did the first time and it was just me, but now it sounds like we all did. I'm going to turn directly back at 9. Did you hear a voice?
Yeah, I did. She was laughing. I ain't fucking think I'd take too kind to that. I'm not some petty entertainer you could throw dollars at to do whatever you need to do.
Would you have rather her called you a bad girl? Would that make you happier?
No, that wouldn't.
I'm
Looks
sorry.
over
I'm sorry.
the Gloria.
I'm uncomfortable. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That wouldn't affect me in any possible way, but still doesn't dignify who I am.
Well,
who I am.
Some of us, I guess, it affects some of us a little bit more.
I mean, I understand that, but still, you know. Anyway, whoever this voice is, maybe we are being playthings to whoever the voice is. You know, whoever's got this much free time on their hands, it's a sick fucking joke. Okay, I thought something was going to happen when I did that, but it's okay. I'm fine. It's whatever. Spooky ass house. But Look, we're not gonna kill the dog. That's, like Gloria said, all this shit that's here, these rituals, I'm not good with this magic power stuff, whatever. If it's wrong, it doesn't make any sense, then whoever the people of this house, they got into some bad stuff, read the instructions wrong, and now they fucked themselves. What's it gonna do with us?
We're stuck here.
We are stuck here.
Look, I didn't say I was the brightest cat in the bunch, you know. I'm not the brightest cat in the litter, okay? Look, I have good ideas, sometimes I have bad ideas. I can only get so far.
You know, I think that you might be on to something. If there's this table that says feed him, that means that there's something here. Maybe instead of trying to feed it, we try to, like, you know, this isn't one of my strengths, but we could try to, like, attack it or something. Or we can't leave through the front door in the mist, in the mist. But is there, like, I don't know, something else under here? Are there sewers? Are there tunnels? Could we leave another way?
Hey, you, over there, stop that. Fucking gurgling noises.
I still think we should go through here. We've explored a lot of this basement. We haven't seen another exit beyond up. And I'm not stepping foot in that mist again.
Yeah, you're not stepping foot in this again. Don't do that again. I glare at you a little bit, like, no.
Could all of you... This is a notice check, but it's not going to be whether you succeed or fail. I'm just interested who gets the highest. Damn. Karina setting the bar at 12. 12 looks like our highest.
What am I rolling? I missed.
Notice.
Oh, sorry.
I got a 5.
So with 3, 3, 5, 5, and 12, Karina gets the highest notice check. So you're the first one who notices. And it does make sense, given your intent for marching directly down here. It makes sense that you would be the one who glances most frequently inside that chamber. And you remember that when you came in here the first time and you went into that room, you saw the fleshy tendrils that extended from a back alcove towards the altar. You remember seeing that thing there breathing, but an amorphous shape that you couldn't really understand. But since the last time you were down here, those tendrils have spread and grown, taking up more of the wall and spreading more underwater in the room.
It's growing.
What?
Look. Look at the way it spreads over that doorway. It wasn't like that before. It's getting bigger.
Are you sure?
I'm certain.
Also, Benny to Gloria for the lab rat comment, and Benny to 9 for the entertainer comment.
We have to decide what we want to do, and we have to decide now. I don't know if it will just keep growing until it breaks through. I don't know if at some point we won't even be able to defeat it, but we have to decide, are we killing this thing? Are we sacrificing? What are we doing?
I got a few lives to spare. Fuck it. Fuck this thing up. We're not killing that damn dog.
Can we figure out maybe like how to attack it fully? Maybe like light it on fire or something, you know? Like I just don't know what to punch with my horns. Do I just run after it, or its tendrils? Is it gonna touch us if we get in the water?
Ethan, Can I see or notice anything that I would deem flammable? Can I smell any methane? Can I smell any chemicals that I could possibly identify in a way?
It's an interesting question. So, when you say flammable, are you talking about like a piece of cloth flammable? You mentioned gas, so explosive level flammable?
Basically, I want to know the chemical structure of this being.
Okay. I love this question.
It's your gas leak.
She wants to Star Trek it. She needs to know the molecular structure of it.
I love Star Trek.
So, this is going to be your choice here. This is either academics or, looking at what skills you have, common knowledge. So, your choice as to which of those you would like to use to try to identify something like that.
I feel like academics works.
Okay.
She's a student in chemicals.
Okay.
Different kind of chemicals, but
Okay.
fuck. I'm gonna Benny
3.
that.
Ooh, okay. Benny.
Okay. I'm gonna stop there before I use all my bennies.
And I will take 1 Benny. So, what you are able to notice is just you aren't hit with the smell of any combustible gases, which does tell you something, and that is that you could probably light a source of fire down here and not harm yourself. So that's still helpful to know.
How close are the tendrils to the door that's closed? Like, are they poking through, or is everything still inside the room?
No. It is still definitely contained to the room itself.
So I couldn't, try and hit one of the tendrils from where I was, just to see what would happen or anything.
If you had a ranged attack, you certainly could.
Oh, okay.
But there isn't any. You would have to go inside to get next to one.
Next one. Okay.
Can I skim the papers I have? And they're all about these different rituals. Do I see something about a being that needs to be fed? Is there something I can glean about this?
Okay. Interesting. Here's what I would like you to roll me then. That would probably be your research skill.
Both dice rolled their highest number and exploded, so that's a 17.
Woo!
So that's like a pass with, I think, 3 raises.
Yes, it is.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge
I'm not good at
is
fighting, but apparently I can
power.
research pretty okay.
So, I will say that you start poring over this, and in very short order, you immediately know that you also want to be able to look at that book that Hawthorne had previously had, or had previously found.
Can I borrow that book really quick?
Yeah, sure you can, doll. Here you go.
Thank you. I'll kiss your cheek and borrow the book, and then I keep looking.
The documents that you found in the library themselves don't directly address that creature. But from those, what you do find is a ritual that apparently involved the sacrifice of an innocent in order to extend the life of those conducting the ritual. You also then find... You overlooked it at first on the edges of this page because the chicken scratch style writing was so difficult to read, it almost just looked like scribbles. But with a triple raise, yeah, no problem. You look over at this, and the notes you find there are basically desperately trying to explain why it failed. Must have used a wrong amount of this. test or subject was insufficiently innocent. Different hypotheses like that. And then you do, again, in the back page of the book that Hawthorne had, find reference to fed to Walter. Now, the fact that that's the last entry doesn't necessarily bode well, unless there's a good interpretation. Maybe they succeeded at their efforts and had no more sacrifices were necessary. Or maybe that's because it didn't work, or something bad happened, given that is the last entry. What conclusion you specifically draw from that, I'll leave to you. But it seems to be, at least based off of when the notes about Walter are first mentioned, that the one ritual here definitely is what created what is now there.
I'll take a second and kind of point this out to everyone. And I want to specifically walk over to you, Brock, and say, you know, I'm not really one for making plans, but I do think that from this we can see that the rituals didn't work, that they weren't real to begin with, so the people trying them weren't successful. Like, look here in the margins. They clearly attempted it, and they're trying to come up with failed hypotheses for why it didn't work, where it wouldn't have worked to begin with. But either way, we shouldn't follow those same mistakes, but I think we shouldn't do this. But I'm not sure what we should do. Do you have any thoughts?
Brock, as you come over and you show him what you've collected, he takes it into his hand where he's sharing it with you, and starts trailing his finger down the margins and just kind of looking at everything. It looks as if they were frantic. Look at the handwriting. Desperate. Do you think the voice that we heard is their puppet master?
Yes.
And that this house, if you could call it that, it is her way of testing us.
Yes. I do feel like this is a test. But I think that the problem is I don't know how we pass it. I don't know how we move past the test.
Just like you said, we can't repeat the past. If it's already been done and was not successful, clearly, we should try something different. And that, and he gestures over to the tentacles, growing. It seems to indicate that no matter what we do, it's going to continue to grow until we solve the puzzle.
I like Hawthorne's idea of stopping it.
Agreed.
I don't know if I could probably unlock the gate again if we want to go over there. I could also try to shoot it through the bars.
I don't mind going in there. I would rather me than any of you. That letter, Gloria, that you found.
Oh yeah, with the gossip?
Yeah. Is it the same writing as what's in those margins? Is it possibly the same person that we're trying to get endless life? Is
That's
the
a good
child,
question.
is Walter the bastard child?
I think so, because the kids said their younger sibling was Walter. I'm going to take a second and I'm going to pull out the first letter we found, the second letter we found, the book, and then now the notes. and I want to show you them, Karina, and kind of give you a chance to kind of glance over and look at them with me, and maybe we can see if we notice any trends in handwriting.
I'm also going to pull out the letter that we all got at the beginning because Gloria did not have one, but I'm going to pull that one out as well and see if that writing matches.
With a triple raise on investigation carrying over since it's so quick here, and with that good thinking on Karina's part. Yeah, the handwriting of the letters, all three of the letters have the same handwriting. The one that you found in the secret room just now, the one previously found in the master suite, and the letter that was in your pocket upon arriving here.
Look at the cursive G's. Look at the typeface. This is exactly the same handwriting.
Stradia. Who the fuck is Stradia?
The puppet master?
The voice in our heads?
Yeah. Right? It makes sense. It's the only constant we've had here.
Do you remember the guy that picked us up from the train station?
Yeah, the creepy looking.
Did he tell us who he worked for?
No, he didn't, but there was this kind of cool, weird looking statue down like a few floors up. She had like a crystal ball in her hand when we found the doorway down here. Maybe that might have been her. Told you, brain kind of works sometimes, brain doesn't. You know, it fires off the synapses a little bit. What's a synapse?
So, if we were all brought together by this bitch who speaks in our minds, who obviously has no care for her puppets, Brock put it, what do we do about that? Do we give her a show and try to best this monster? Do we try to just ask her to let us out? What do we do? Us sitting in a house is not entertaining. Perhaps we can hold that above her?
We only heard her voice. You did. When we were struggling. When we were fighting.
Well, I heard her voice when I tried to dispel the fog.
Oh, that's the naughty girl thing?
Yeah,
girl.
I guess you're not supposed to try to dispel the fog.
I mean,
but that implies that she'd want us in here, which supports our theory that there's something interesting about us fighting for our lives inside of a contained environment where she has the ability to maybe alter the environment, to run certain tests or experiments, or see how we react to certain stimulus.
You are saying that, and all of you, because you're standing in this stone room, still right near the steps that you came down, those earthen steps, you all, right after Gloria says that, just hear echoing from up there.
Fucking more undead pieces of fuck.
Okay, looks like we're on a fucking timetable. Wonderful.
Open the door.
Me?
If you can.
I think so.
I just want to say, y'all, that you two shouldn't be the ones going in there. I'm just saying, like, what if something attacks you? Do you have the reaction time or the die level for this situation?
Shouldn't we all push forward?
I was thinking either we all or I'll go ahead. You all have things to live for. I don't give a shit if I live or die right now.
Fuck me that. The
Well,
fuck?
that's because you're high on opiums.
Just let me take the first.
We don't even fucking know what's going on.
Hold on.
Everyone, quick notice check.
Fucking damn it.
Shout him out.
I got a 6.
My dice exploded again. I got an 11.
Ooh! Exploded! 17!
Holy crap.
Oh,
Yeah!
oh.
I got a lonely 3.
6.
Well, almost all of you passed the minimum threshold. 2 of you were super observant. So I'm going to give this to the 2 who exploded, Gloria and 9. The sounds that you heard from the stairs, they aren't getting any closer. And 9 with a 17, you can flat out, just with your feline ears, pinpoint that they are located right at the top of the stairwell that led down to this sub-basement.
Think about the walls closing around the contained mouse, ushering it to a certain point. We're being corralled.
We have to go forward.
Why do you sound so excited about this?
I don't know.
It's a good
But circling back, it's interesting. I don't know. Okay, I have to say, like, I don't
This
think
is
I've ever been
terrifying,
on
Gloria.
the inside of an experiment.
I think I can't have that letter. It seemed angry at who it was directed at. Perhaps we're just here to do Stradia's dirty work, and she's just watching us do it.
Well, if we're gonna do some fucking dirty work, we'll just do the dirty work and we can get out of here.
Okay, before I open the gate, I think I'm going to try to be less of like a hindrance to y'all. So before I go to try to unlock the gate, I'd like to use boost or lower trait. And I would like
Great power.
to do that now.
You're not a hindrance to us.
Well, I won't be. Hopefully. So I'm going to do that. That's 3 power points. I think what I'm going to do is I'm still a little bit worried about Brock. I think if I'm reading this correctly, I can do it more than once. And so I'm going to attempt, if I'm reading this right, because it's instantaneous.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can do it to multiple people, absolutely.
Yeah, I think I just have to cast it twice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do that. I'm going to cast it
All right.
twice. And I'm going to boost both Brock and myself.
Now, the one thing to note is the duration is about 5 rounds. So,
Ooh, so should I wait, you think?
It's something like well, it depends. It's normally,
think
it looks
about
like
it.
it's something you would want to do right before someone is going to do something. Because
That's a good
otherwise,
question.
in like a minute, it'll be gone. And
Are
you
we
don't want...
are we storming in? Are we storming in and attacking the vines?
Beautiful. If you say it, let's do it. I'm all for it.
Because we can't go back to where we came. Because
Nope.
there's more company upstairs now. This is the only way in and the only way out.
Okay, so before we burst in and try to attack the vines, I think I can make Brock and I a little bit less. I think I could make us a little bit tougher in the fight, but it won't last long. So if we're gonna storm in and attack the vines, once I do this, we should like move with haste.
All right, good enough.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Nine's gonna walk over to Brock and Gloria and just put his hands on both of their shoulders. You're not a hindrance, but you both are extremely, extremely smart and beautiful, both of you. You got this, and Okay? You're my ace, you're my angel. I'm not gonna die with a guardian angel, and I got you. You're ace in the hole, you're ace in our pocket. I know you can do it, okay? All right. Okay.
As you're kind of saying this, will flap my wings a little bit, and then how it looks when I use this power is there's almost like a shimmering kind of like glow that surrounds both Brock and I. And I'll flap my wings a little, and there's this kind of sparkle, almost like a little shield, kind of feels like it flutters around us, right as 9 is patting our shoulders.
Love it. So what
cool.
trait are you going to be boosting for 9? Or who are
For
you
Brock?
boosting? Oh, for Brock. Okay.
So for me, I am going to try, because it's my parry that's extremely low. I think that parry is isn't that strength?
So parry is derived from your agility. Oh, I'm sorry. Parry is not derived from your agility. I was
wrong. It strength?
No, it's your fighting die.
I don't think I could boost that.
Yes, you can. You can boost a skill.
I'm going to boost my fighting then. I'm going to boost my fighting so that my parry goes up.
Yes, and since your fighting is currently untrained, your parry will go from a 2 to a 4 for those 5 rounds.
So I'm going to boost my fighting, and then Brock, what would...
Before you move to the next one, you do need to make a occult roll to activate the power. And if you succeed with a raise, you boost it by 2 die types.
I rolled a 15.
Holy
One was a 15, one was a 1. So that's a 15.
Holy crap.
I think it was 9's pep talk. I think that, I was feeling a little nervous about this. I'm not really, totally sure how to use this power yet, but I have a feeling that with the strength of my friends, I can go into this with that strength.
Incredible. So you
promo,
go up to a D6, and your parry becomes a 5. You more than doubled your parry. Okay. Next up is Brock.
Yes. Brock, what would you like a boost in?
I would like to get a boost in shooting, so agility.
Or you could just choose shooting.
Okay, just shooting would be nice.
Yeah, that's probably what you want.
Okay, let me attempt that one. This is when my dice are going to fail me, but I'm going to try my best.
You always got bennies.
You can do it.
What is happening?
Again, 9's confidence in me makes me feel like I really can do this. And so first I kind of have this shield shimmer around me, rolling a 15, so succeeding with 2 raises. And then I really care about Brock. I spent a long time poring over his wounds and really trying to help him get better. And I don't want that to happen again. And so I attempt this same power a second time. And this time the same sort of shimmery shield goes around Brock and hopefully will help him in the next battle.
So your shooting goes up to a D10, Brock, for the next 5 rounds.
Whoop, whoop. Way to go, you guys.
Any further power usage right now?
I think I already unlocked the gate, if I am checking my notes correctly. So I think at this point we just have to lift it. So that is it for my power wielding at this moment.
So I'm going to assume while this is happening, the rest of you might have been doing something. Would Hawthorne and Karina, would the 2 of you have been doing anything, or just waiting at this moment?
I think Karina would have kind of once again tucked the dog under her arm so she can get a better hold on him, under her left arm, and then she is going to pull out her hand. And she's going to stand right in front of the gate, ready for it to open.
Okay.
Hawthorne's been standing there kind of staring at Karina and this dog, debating about trying to steal this dog away from the person who was trying to just murder it. But he just sort of stands behind her and then starts looking at the tendrils and trying to figure out which ones he's going to attack and if he can get to the big guy. That is a question that I have, Ethan. Can we visually get and like walk to this giant thing that the tendrils are coming from, or is it behind rocks and wall?
It is not behind any rock or wall. It is in a like part of the rock that's actually been broken away. This little not little, but this alcove, and it is taking up most of that section. You absolutely could. I mean, you can definitely make line of sight with it at minimum. The room is about 30 by 30 feet, and when some of you went in last time, the water wasn't so deep that you couldn't walk through it. It simply slowed you down a little. But yeah, it's pretty much directly opposite.
Okay, Hawthorne's pretty much just preparing then. And watching the wondrousness happening with Gloria and all the glowy, shiny things happening. Bennies are worthy.
Well, then, those two uses of boost trait, done. What's happening right now? Because now we have a ticking clock, y'all. Because that lasts for 5 rounds.
Raging Bull, you and me. Lift the gate. Let's go.
Okay. So I stand right next to the gate, right next to 9, and we lift.
Yep.
And as soon as the gate is open, Karina is going to go to the where the lock mechanism was, and she's going to attempt to try to lock the gate.
Oh, to lock it open? Got it. Dang, 9, you exploded too. Got a 10. Jeez.
God, my dice hate me tonight. I have a 2.
So even though you rolled a 2, Hawthorne, so you lift, and the wet from down here and the fact that your legs are partially submerged in the water, as you're lifting, this isn't the easiest thing. So you manage to lift it a good foot, but then your grip starts to loosen. You start to lose grip on it, and 9 rushes over.
You get over here. Come on, get this fuck up.
The two of you finish lifting it up to a shoulder. As you do, Karina runs in. No check necessary. You run over, jam something in there, which takes the weight so that when you squat down just a little bit, Hawthorne 9, the anchor that she placed catches, and you're able to let the portcullis go. It's now open about 4.5 or 5 feet.
Big slab of beef. Come on, don't be getting soft on me right now. I need you. Right?
I don't know about this, man. This doesn't feel right.
Nothing in this whole place feels right.
Ugh.
After I've jammed the mechanism, she's going to slowly make her way towards the altar.
As you approach the altar, there is still the now open blanket there. Previously looked bundled like an infant, but was revealed to only contain a bloody knife. Splash through the water. What are you doing?
I'm gonna go to the altar. And how deep is the water in here?
2 feet.
Feet, okay. She's gonna go and she's gonna stand on the altar. And as she gets up there, she's gonna
you better
holster
not
her
be
gun
putting
and-
that dog on there.
She's still holding the dog. She's going to holster her gun and then pick up the bloody knife. As she stands on the altar.
Everyone who would like to. This is not being done in a concealed way. There are no checks necessary. You're all in the same room. Splashing is happening. Anyone who wants to have noticed this can notice what's happening. Just for clarity. And we're going to say that that has been That's easily a round. So we're at 4.
If we're gonna start fighting, we have to do it now.
Fucking stab that thing.
Let's do it.
Not
Okay.
the dog. The thing on the wall.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's go.
So, I'd like to act. I have I can't, I haven't crossed through the water yet because I can't swim. And if I get water on my wings, I just can't really do it. And I'm really slow walking through water, but I am going to pull out my gun. And as I slowly move forward, try to attack the vines. Okay. Or not my gun, my little, whatever it's called, bow and arrow. Crossbow.
Okay. So, you start pushing through the water towards the alcove where this thing is, getting your hand crossbow out. Karina, you are still standing on the altar.
Yes.
And the camera pulls back far enough that we can see the entirety of the room. There's that wreck of a wall where this large thing... Now that you're up here on the altar, you can see it better. So can you, Gloria, as you approach. It was so much better from across the room, where it was shadow and implication. But now here, this is a abomination of flesh. Easily 10 feet, as it is in this shape of being piled on itself. It still rises up about 8 feet. There is no sense of order or reason to the placement of tendrils, tumors, teeth, limbs, and so many mouths. And Gloria, as you lay sight on it clearly now, I need you to make a fear roll. So that is a spirit roll with a -2. And Karina, from here, would you have looked at it?
I am looking just deadpan directly at it. But before I look up, I'm going to pick up the knife, place the dog on the altar, and pet its head before standing up. And as I look at this beast, I'm going to kind of like look a bit above it. Are you not entertained, Stradia? Come and get me. And I'm going to stab the knife into my shoulder.
Okay. Then we have some things to resolve. First, Gloria?
I rolled a 1. I'm going to use a Benny, and I'm going to try to roll it again.
I'll take it. Let's do it. Still with a -2.
So I rolled a 1 again.
Mm-hmm. You start with 3 bennies.
I still have 3 left, because I had 4. I think I will try one more Benny, and then I will call it the divine will of the dice.
Let's do it.
So it exploded.
Oh.
And did not as well, but I did get a 5, even with the -2.
5 with the -2. So you manage to see this thing, take it all in, and not have any lasting psychological consequence.
But I don't think it's instantaneous. I think that when I first look at it, I feel like my mind's immediately thrown back to the fight we had upstairs and to the terror that we've already seen in this house. And I think it takes a second for me to shake it off.
Absolutely. You can respond however you want. There's just no mechanical effect.
No, it just takes me a second to shake it off, and then I make eye contact with the rest of the group. And honestly, it's probably Karina stabbing herself that shakes me out of it, because I'm like, I just worked so hard. I braided your hair and worked to heal your thing. What are you doing?
We see as Gloria's eyes were locked on this thing, her eyes almost going out of focus, as for a second her mind couldn't really take in everything she was seeing. But as she starts to shake it off, there is the, "Are you not entertained?" and the scream of pain as you all see Karina plunge this knife into herself. Karina. The space around you becomes covered in black. And you just hear that voice once more in your head. Good. Self-sacrifice. How noble. Well, a good start. Finish the job, though. You are not walking out of this house without something dying. Make it good. Back, pain in the shoulder, warm blood pouring down your chest as you feel the two front paws of Lancelot as he's jumped up onto you. His front paws on your stomach, looking up at you, whining, confused why you're doing that to yourself.
Did any of the tendrils come towards me? Did it move at all?
As the blood drips onto the altar, some of the tendrils that had already grown up onto the altar grow and branch new little portions like veins and capillaries that start to stretch towards the blood. Not enough to actually make it, but almost like a plant reaching towards sunlight.
Did the main body move at all?
No. No more than the usual inhale and exhale style movements.
She's gonna stand there with the knife still in her shoulder, and she's gonna look towards 9 and Hawthorne. What the fuck are you waiting for? Kill it!
3.
Honey, I'm a little confused by you, to be honest, but...
Was I able to shoot, or did I use my whole action for...
Well, so then, because you did say that was something you wanted to do, we will say that that happened right at the top of round 4, so you will still have that. You actually are, so we dealt out all of the cards, the action cards, and the order for this first round. We will be redealing them out, because boss fight style thing. Keep that action, that tension there. But for the first round, Gloria, you just happened to go first anyway. So,
Meant to be.
I know. So, what would you like to be doing? Because you have up to 3 actions.
So, I picture that Gloria is attempting as much as possible to not touch the water. And so I like to think that I'm kind of hovering, if possible.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would like to attempt one shot at the... I had a good look at it. I'd like to try to hit it.
Okay. As this is happening, I do have a question for everyone, because this will impact the challenge, or the target number here. Is anyone currently pointing a flashlight at this thing?
Hawthorne is.
I can see it.
You can see it, which brings up a good point. So,
God damn it!
Hawthorne, did you say you were pointing a flashlight at it?
Well, if it's in the dark, I was going
Yes.
to attack it. So yes, I would be holding a flashlight up at it.
You see Gloria raises her crossbow. You snap your flashlight over, and everyone else who hasn't already rolled me a fear check, I need those rolls with a -2, please, as you see this. if you haven't made the roll
Me as
yet.
well, Ethan?
Yep. You're seeing it in its full glory now. I will say, because of what you just did, not a -2 for you, Karina. But this is a spirit roll.
Thank you.
No problem. Those are some good rolls.
So
far, Karina hit a 4. That was without the -2, so that's a success. Brock, even with the -2, got a 7. Hawthorne, with the -2, is at a 2, and 9 is currently sitting pretty at a 1, I believe, because you already had a -1 and then a -2 on top of that. So, are any bennies being spent? Say now or forever hold your benny.
fuck it. I'm gonna roll it. I'm gonna spend one. God damn.
Hawthorne will spend a Benny too.
Ooh, I'm sitting at pretty at 5 here to use, y'all.
Fucking spirit rolls.
Right before a combat? Giving me all these bennies?
Fucking blow up. That's right.
Ooh, 10. Alright, so even with a -2, you are good. Hawthorne.
I got way worse. I got a 1.
So, call is yours. You still have more bennies? Do you save them or no?
Nope. I'm gonna take my fear.
Alright. Could you please roll me a d20? If you don't have one anywhere nearby, someone can roll one for you, or you can roll one on Foundry. Luckily, that was a modified 1 and not a critical. That's a good thing. So now we're rolling on the fear table.
It's a 7.
7? Not a bad thing, because low is actually good on this table. So, until the end of your next turn, you are vulnerable. Which, for those of you who do not know or don't remember, gives the people trying to hit you a +2 to hit. So,
And then whenever it comes to my turn, I can do a vigor roll to try and
no.
cure
This
my
is
fear?
this
Or do
is
I have
one.
to do a soak roll.
No. This is one that just lasts until the end of your next turn, and then it just goes away.
Oh.
Yeah. But you all take in this sight that I've described, and now with more aggressive action being taken, this thing is starting to spread out and grow easily 10 feet by 10 feet, this monstrosity of flesh. A nightmare made flesh, and flesh made nightmare. There are teeth, so many teeth that there are some protruding from areas where there aren't mouths, but there are so many gnashing mouths on this thing. Gloria, you were firing a shot.
I was.
And
I, in shooting, rolled 2 1s for a critical
failure. Okay.
Yes.
Are you spending a Benny, or are you accepting the critical failure?
Oh man. You know, in for a Benny, in for a pound. Isn't that the phrase?
I love it.
I will attempt
If it isn't, it should
to use a Benny to flicker time and see what luck has to say.
Y'all are giving me so many bennies, I gotta change my tracker to a bigger die over here.
I love you, but I can't stand you sometimes.
Okay, the second attempt was a 4.
A 4 will be the target number. So, how do you correct yourself from this near disastrous shot?
What I picture is that there's teeth mashing all around me. There's a flickering light, and there's water all around. And in an effort not to drown. I'm trying to hover above the water and pulling my knees into my chest. The beautiful party dress that I put on is a weirdly stark contrast to the horror that's like writhing around me. And I pull out this crossbow, and at first it looks like the shot's gonna like jut off my knee and just go wild. But then I take a second and I'm like, no, nine believes in me. I believe in me a little bit, and I sort of course correct, and it goes off, not hitting anybody that I know, at least.
Well, with a 4, you hit, and you hit it. So roll me that damage.
Okay, so for the mini crossbow, that is 2d4 for a total of 4.
4 damage. You send this crossbow bolt, and it sinks into the flesh, and you watch as where it impact kind of the flesh swarms around the impact, snapping and swallowing the bolt, as it is now fully aware of all of your presence. Begins to spread out and gnash, the sound of the mouths all over. And that will bring us to...
I'd love to use my movement to raise as high as I can.
Absolutely.
Towards the ceiling?
Yep. Not a bad idea. It's about 30 feet in here, so you up.
Yes, I can use my full movement as my flying speed. So I will use my entire movement to move up.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally smart idea. That will bring up Brock, and Hawthorne is next.
Brock, as he sees this creature burble to life, as it were, he's going to muster every bit of strength in his half-cocked stature, and he is going to progress as forward as he possibly can without being in range of this thing, and he is going to cast a stream burst of fire at it. Oh, no, it's radiant.
Yes,
Sorry.
it is. Your burst is radiant. There is a way you can change the trappings, but it requires a edge. So, alchemy check.
I mean, isn't radiant just holy fire?
I mean, that's a fair interpretation.
That's how I see it. I got a 5.
A 5, so success. So that is 2d6 damage.
Dun, 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 dun.
4 damage. You send this... Is this one of those where you uncork?
Yes. So he is going to march forward as intimidatingly as he possibly can, and he's ruffling into his hand into the pocket of his freshen coat. And he's going to pop off the cork and fling it towards this thing.
Where the stream was heading, it impacts into and starts to sear away at the flesh of this abomination. And it does eat away at the flesh, but there's so much of it that it's like
back away,
taking a shovel of sand away from the beach. That'll bring up Hawthorne. Reminder, you all have up to 3 actions. You just have to announce your what you're doing up front so we can apply the multi-action penalty if necessary.
Okay, so this thing doesn't have any openings on it whatsoever. Every opening is an orifice, pretty much. Like
what other openings would a creature have that isn't an orifice?
I meant like a back that has an opening of just a back where it's not the fucking mouth.
Like just a zipper you could climb in
where I
the
could
back?
run my horns in and not get eaten.
No, this thing,
I don't want to get
nature's
eaten
pocket.
Here.
This thing is truly horrifying to look at. It is tendrils, pustules, tumors, and mouths. Mouths everywhere. Along the tendrils, there are gnashing mouths. That's all in terms of openings that you see.
I'm trying to understand if I run at this thing and I shove it with my horns, am I going to get eaten by it because it has a huge mouth in the front that's going to go nom 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 on me?
It does have some pretty big mouths, and lots of them. It's highly possible. I mean, of all the things that might happen to you, getting eaten seems a very reasonable one.
Okay.
With what you're seeing.
Okay, so I'm guessing the tendrils are really everywhere, and so I'm not far from a tendril in general.
The tendrils are small in comparison to this thing, and the tendrils themselves aren't ripping up and moving. They seem kind of akin to roots of this. So yes, they are around, but they are a small portion of this thing.
If I'm next to a tendril, I'm gonna try and grab the tendril and rip it off of the ground.
Okay.
Is that gonna be possible? Like ripping a tree root?
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay.
Is that all you're wanting to try this turn?
Yeah. Let me go through this. Let's maybe start there. If I can rip it up, I may try and shove it into its own mouth.
To run it. I love it.
I kind of want it to eat itself.
Okay. So then what I'm going to ask for...
That's my thought process here.
What I'm going to ask for from you then is a strength roll first. Each of these is going to be with a... I'm trying to think what the second action roll would be. Because the first one is a strength.
Yeah, it's like a manipulation.
You know what? I'm going to call that a fighting roll.
Like, if we want to, I can just, this round, this moment, I could pull him up and I could just step on the fucking tendril to, like, snap it in half.
You tell me what you want to do, because I know how we can make it work mechanically. So you just decide what you want to have happen.
Okay, I want to feed it its own freaking tendril.
Okay, so then both of these rolls, these are two actions. Both will be made with -2s as a result. -2s. So strength roll first to rip it off the ground, and then it will be a fighting check to run forward and shove this thing in its own mouth.
I'm going to spend 1 Benny to re-roll it.
Because the first one was was a 1, and now I have 7 bennies. It's a lot of bennies, y'all. Woo!
It's a 10.
That's a better roll.
Benny's worth it!
Benny was worth it. So you rip this thing off of the ground, but in all honesty, you don't. You simply rip the top 80% of it off of the bottom 20% of it, which stays attached and affixed to the part of stone that it was growing on that you were ripping it off of. Just rip it off, and you run forward, trying to shove this into its own mouth. Could you make me a fighting check, please? And
with a -2 still?
Yes.
That's a 5.
5 will be a success. So what I'm going to do is roll the bite damage against itself, which did 16 damage. Jesus. Which means that, Hawthorne, you run forward with this ripped up section of meat and go to shove it in its own mouth, and it gnash, just instinctually. This isn't a hunter, this is a feeder. And as you give it something to feed on, it happily gnashes away. Now, that is enough to do a shaken and a wound. So I'm going to go ahead and use one of my bennies here to make a soak roll for this thing.
And while Hawthorne is doing this and it starts, he's going to, of course, scream, "Eat it, bitch!"
Well, it gets a 9 on its soak roll, which is a success with a raise. So that means, yes, you jam this limb in there and it gnaws it away. it absolutely tears it, shreds it, this just fountain of blood pouring from it, covering part of you, Hawthorne. But as soon as it is ripped away, it writhes for a little bit and then collapses like a deflated balloon on the ground, the tendril. But this thing seems unfazed, as that absorbed the wound and the shaken. Very cool, though, and used one of its bennies. That will bring up Karina with 9 on deck. I'm actually going to give you a Benny, Hawthorne, for that. That was very cool.
Karina is going to crouch and kind of pull the dog closer towards her just to hold it. And she's going to pull out her pistol and aim and attempt to fire at anything that seems central or an eye or anything like that. That's what she's going to try to shoot.
Okay. So let me pull one thing up. Just so you know, if you wanted, it's tough on this thing, but you could still try to do called shots. Like if you wanted to try to aim to shoot into a mouth, for example, it would just be a penalty to your shooting roll. Just reminding you all in general that option exists. But if you're just trying to generally shoot at it, that'll be a standard roll. And are you only doing one shot, or are you doing multiple, Karina?
I was wondering if I could actually make a notice check to see if I can see where this thing originated, because it seems to grow, it seems to pulse from a central point. I want to see if I can find where Walter is in this being.
Okay. Make me that notice check. We'll do that for free. So that's
okay.
Not an action.
That's an 11.
11? That's quite good.
It exploded too! Fuck yeah!
Brutal. I'm going to say, with an 11, that was really good. Multiple raises. The tendrils look like they're growing from this thing, which is now dislodging itself from this section of wall. It's not like, you don't get the impression that it grew there. Maybe even that it grew anywhere, but as you're looking at it, gun raised, just waiting for the right moment, trying to notice something before you pull the trigger, you hear the faintest, so faint, sound of a baby crying. So quiet, but you can tell that it's coming from inside of it.
It's going to shoot. I'm going to call shot towards that sound.
Okay. This is tough. There's a lot going against you here. You don't know for sure where it is. You haven't seen it. Your light is relied on by flashlights that are flickering around. The normal penalty for a headshot is a -4. I'm going to put this one at a -5 because you can't even see where you're aiming. You don't know where you're aiming. You're trying to do it based off of sound alone. So it is still possible with some explosions, but it's gonna be hard.
Okay. That's gonna be a miss.
No explosion, very close. But you do obviously still manage to shoot and hit the thing. It's just that your shot isn't anywhere super effective at that moment. That will bring 9 up, and then this thing.
Okay. That made me jump. That made me jump. Shit. Huh. Inner black man. Focus. Alright. So 9, seeing Hawthorne rips this fucking thing off and try to feed itself. First of all, if it bleeds, we can kill it. First off, okay? Ugly motherfucker. Nine is going to take the bottle of liquor that he still had from upstairs, rip his wife beater, stick it in the bottle, take his lighter out, light that bitch, and throw it at the biggest mouth that there is. The central mouth.
Alright, so could you make me an athletics check, please?
Alright.
I swear it's saying something.
5.
5. That'll be enough to... So you light this thing. Chuck the bottle. It detonates on where the mass of flesh is. It's not hard to hit. Could you please roll me a 2d6?
Nine gets a 9.
9 damage. That is pretty dang good. And the room starts to fill with the smell of burning flesh.
Ah, fucking barbecue.
I am going to tell you all something, though. It didn't take a wound. The toughness for this thing is 10. Now, I tell you that so that you all can use your bennies to reroll damage, if you wish, at any point. The fire is still there, though. Could you roll me a d6 really quick, 9, to see what happens with this fire?
1.
1? Okay. The fire lights, burns, and quickly extinguishes. That will bring...
I was also trying...
Oh, yeah?
I was also trying to make sure we give everybody a little extra light, too, to hit things. 9, told you, 9's brain works sometimes it doesn't. But
I will say...
It's got a good idea.
I will say it burns long enough to provide illumination for the next round, so that no one would have any penalties if there weren't flashlights pointing at it. It's now this thing's turn. No one had gotten super close to it, as memory serves. Good thing. Oh wait, Hawthorne did. And Hawthorne has victim.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
And Hawthorne is vulnerable.
The Hawthorne is very vulnerable right now.
So it is making 2 attacks at Hawthorne. -2, +2 from vulnerable cancel each other out. So 2 straight rolls here. Would a 5 hit you, Hawthorne?
My parry is a 7.
Oh, you punk. Alright, then let's try this again. Ugh, I'm gonna spend a Benny. I gotta do it. Gotta spend a Benny. Son of a bitch. Oh man, it is missing bad. Oh! So that is a 6, which explodes. For a total of an 8. So an 8 will hit, I believe you said. I'm sorry. Yeah, your parry is a 7.
Yes, yeah. 7 is my parry. How many bennies did you spend there?
Only 1. I missed on the first
Only
attack. And then spent a Benny on the second attack. So the damage that is coming your way is going to be 18 damage. Would you like to make a soak roll?
Yes. So that's 1 Benny.
Yep, 1 Benny and a vigor check. So that would be a stun, 1, and 2 wounds.
Should I do that to him before the vigor
No.
check? Like,
the vigor check is before you take damage. So before any penalties. So roll that vigor check.
7.
A 7 would reduce it by 1 wound. You can keep that, or you can gamble and see if you could roll higher by spending a Benny. It's your call.
No, I'll keep my 7.
Okay.
I'll keep my 7.
So, first of all, that is 1 wound and 1 and shaken. And I need you to make 1 more roll for me. And that is going to be an agility roll.
That's a 1.
Okay. Do you want to keep it?
I'm going to spend my last penny. We're going to try
Take
it.
Ooh, those pennies are flying, y'all.
A 2, at least.
A 2? Okay. So, given that that was the last Benny, here is what you all see. Hawthorne runs over with this limb, this tendril, shoves it into one of the mouths. It is gnawed in half. Blood sprays all over Hawthorne. As Hawthorne drops the tendril and just looks back at you all for just a second, we see a mouth form and grow across this flesh, just splitting into being and absolutely covered in sharp teeth, grows wide, and as Hawthorne, as you turn just in time for it to swallow Hawthorne whole. We will get to what happens to you, Hawthorne, on your turn. But for right now, y'all, Hawthorne's gone.
Hey, you guys, I'm inside a belly.
So we are going to, because that is the end of the initiative order, we're going to re-deal out some cards and see what order we get this time.
Am I allowed to attack from inside?
You can definitely. So I'll give you a little heads up so that you can,
Get that
so you can
motherfucker
plan,
indigestion.
so you can plan,
Slicey.
so you can plan your turn. You can still attack from inside. You will also have to make checks to avoid continuous damage from inside, but you can still attack from in here, 100%. It's just going to attack back. So our new order is Gloria again, then Hawthorne, Brock, Karina, the creature, and 9. So Gloria, start us off, top of the order.
Okay, so seeing this massive thing just eat Hawthorne, I think I'm going to float down a little bit. I'm going to float down probably half my movement so I'm within range. Actually, I think I'm probably within range. I'm not sure where I check my range for a ranged weapon.
Within range for which weapon?
For my crossbow?
Oh, absolutely, you're within range.
I think I don't even have to move. I think I can just stay hiding towards the ceiling. And I'm going to attempt to make another shot towards the creature. Does it have to be a called shot if I'm just trying to not hit where Hawthorne was eaten?
No.
Great. So that I'm not going to call any shot.
And just
I'm
one
just
shot?
going to attempt to shoot one shot down.
Okay, let's do it.
Because I think the penalty for multiple actions is -2.
It is if it's 2 actions, it's -2. If it's 3 actions, it's -4. But it gives you more chances.
Oh, I'm just gonna make one shot straight down to attempt to try to hit it. That's all I got.
All right, bring it on.
That's a 4.
A 4 will hit. That's exactly your target number. Bring on that damage. Now, I did tell you that the toughness here is 10. So one of your dice will have to explode.
Yeah.
For this to
yeah,
sink in.
unfortunately, it will have to explode. We'll see.
Well, there's over a 25% chance of 1. You can spend a Benny, because that's 4.
I only have 1 Benny left. I feel like I'm not going to do that.
All right, totally fair.
What I am going to do, though, is if it's possible, if it's a free action, I would like to try to watch the spot that Hawthorne was eaten.
Oh, absolutely.
That way I can kind of keep an eye on it.
Oh, totally. 100%. So you send this shot, and you are dead focused on where Hawthorne just went, looking for any indication of what is currently happening to him.
Exactly.
So,
that's what I would like to do.
Absolutely. Easily done. Hawthorne, you are up next. Brock is on deck. So, first thing I need you to do.
Yeah.
Hawthorne. So, you have just been... All light is gone. Sound is this combination of fleshy squelching sounds, muffled shouting of your friends that you can still hear from outside, but the inner functions of this thing are so loud you can hear as new mouths are formed. And it is so tight in here as it is starting to crush down on you. Could you please make me a vigor roll?
Okay.
This is going to be with a -2.
It's a 4.
That is a success.
Yeah.
Even with a -1 from your wound and a -2, that is a success, which means you do not take a wound just from being in here. You are still shaken, for the record. Now, you can try to get rid of that by making a spirit check, or you can just automatically do it with a Benny, but I don't know if you have any left.
I don't have any bennies, so I'm going to try a spirit check.
Okay.
Do I have to have a -2 on this one?
Nope, it will apply a -1 already for your wound, but that's the only penalty you currently have on this.
A 4.
4, success. No longer shaken. This squelching, fluid muscle sound in here is only broken by one sound of a baby crying. You can hear it, and you can hear it in a direction, even though it's dark in here.
As I feel around, can I feel any other orifices, or am I in, like, one, like, stomach?
Not orifices, but this thing is large, and you feel like, as you feel the direction that you heard the crying, that you can push towards it.
Okay, I'm gonna start pushing towards it and trying to reach for this creature. If there is kind of like stuff in the way, I'm gonna use my claws a little bit just to pull things aside and kind of push my way.
Pushing your way through this mound of flesh as it resists against you, but again, because you succeeded on that vigor, man, to shoulder your way through as it tries to constrict around you. And then the cries turn into a clear wail. Unmuffled. It sounds like it's right in front of you. You do still have your flashlight.
Fuck life right now. I know what's gonna happen. Okay, so I use my flashlight and I turn it on to look, and obviously it's pretty tight space. Like, is this baby like in my lap?
It is
now?
right. Like, you turn your flashlight on, holding it up to your chest because it is so tight in here, and just a foot in front of you. You can tell that it is a corpse. But it is also still crying. And those two things are incongruous to you. But there's no way that that creature, that child, not with that knife wound, is still alive. But growing from it, like a heart, these arteries, veins, tendrils that sprout from the body and into the larger mass of flesh, all originating from that knife wound. It is your turn. would you like to do?
With my horns, could I slice the tendrils?
You could certainly try.
Okay, you don't think it would be like more of a I grab both sides and try and rip them apart, other than like a horn?
You tell me how you want to try to break these things.
Okay,
if that's what you're wanting to try to do.
Yeah. Okay, so Hawthorne's going to sort of touch the baby a little bit. Does it start crying more as soon as he touches it?
I mean, it's been crying.
Yeah, so
And
it's pretty much just screaming,
yeah.
and I need to make a decision here. Okay, so...
But you touch it, and it doesn't stop crying, but it just turns to that quiet whimper.
Okay, I'm gonna console it just a little bit, and I'm gonna go, it's okay. It's all right. It's okay. And then I'm gonna grab both sides of the cord, and I'm just gonna try and rip it, not with the baby, but like my hands are above the baby, trying to rip it apart.
Make me a fighting check.
Okay. An 11.
You rip these connecting tendrils and veins, clutching the body of Walter to your chest. And as you rip it free, it breaks away the connecting section of this tendril and flesh that begins to immediately wither and blacken and rot. You feel and hear that Walter is now still. But you also feel as the flesh all around you starts to ripple and writhe. Those of you outside watch as this thing that had just swallowed Hawthorne and was rising up to make another bite with one of its many mouths begins to almost seize, shaking violently in different sections, bits of flesh falling away, melting away, dissolving into the water, so that chunks of flesh and tendon and blood start to float on the water here at your thighs. And as it falls away, Hawthorne, you are able to see the panicked flashlights shining across your way as it dissolves off of you. And you are left covered in viscera and holding the quiet body of Walter Durst.
What the fuck, man?
Brock passes out.
Oh, damn it.
I do need everyone other than Hawthorne to make me another fear check. Another spirit roll. This one isn't with a -2.
I rolled a 6.
6 is a pass. Did anyone get under a 4?
I got a 4.
I will use my last penny to try again.
Okay. So, all of you manage to... What you see happen is stomach churning. There are bits and pieces of this thing floating in the water all around you like pond scum. Teeth embedded in flesh, a few of them still gnashing, even as they've become separated from the main body of it. None of you has any mechanical negative side effects here. But you will see Hawthorne holding this small thing to his chest.
from Karina's position on the altar, she's going to look back up to the sky because it just makes sense. Was that enough death for you, Stratia? Can we go now?
The house begins to shake. Dust falls from the ceiling as the walls shudder, and the house, in its very foundations, even as deep as you are, begin to rumble. The floor, the water rippling. What do you all do?
Nine's gonna pick Brock up out of the water first, because he passed out. Pick him up so he doesn't drown. We move now. Gloria, come on! And just has hands out.
I drop down into Nine's arms.
Move!
Hawthorne's in his own world. He honestly is just kind of wrapped up in this baby and doesn't notice what's happening. So he's still squatted there.
Brock, being woken and seeing all this and seeing that they're running, is going to run forward and then see that Hawthorne is back there, grab Hawthorne by the elbow, and run.
Hawthorne will accept Brock and sort of go along, but still has the baby in hand.
Love that baby.
Karina is going to pick up the dog and not directly after them, just giving them a few paces ahead. She's going to follow up.
As you all start making your way quickly out of here, Nine, because of a roll a long time ago, I will say that as you take a slightly leading position, you hear that those voices, those sounds up the steps, no longer there. You retrace your steps the way that you now have done several times, the walls continuing to shake, debris and dust continuing to fall, and you all hear from behind you the high-pitched screams of what sound like an angry and terrifying woman, echoing from the basement. And you hear, in a voice you all have never heard before, but coming from that direction,
"You may have evaded my pet, but I will tear this house to the ground before I let you escape."
The walls continue to shudder. You continue to hear that voice behind you as you are fleeing back up.
Wait!
Do you all take the stairs back up to the attic or the ladder up to the first floor?
I think we'd
First
go
floor.
the stairs. I don't think we would trust a ladder.
Are you sure? I thought we'd go to the first floor because it's closer to the door.
Yeah, first floor. I got it.
I
Shit.
just feel like going up the ladder, we're spending a lot of time and it's going to like break in half and we're all going to die.
We'll be fine. I'll land on my feet. I'm good.
I could probably carry one person.
Okay, we're taking a ladder.
Gloria, also, you're just piggyback. You're fine. You have to do nothing. I'm just going.
I wrapped my legs around your middle and my arms are over your shoulder.
You all start climbing up. Hawthorne, you take the rear here, and as everyone is going in front of you, you do feel as one of the rungs of the ladder snaps under your feet. You look down, you're already about 20 feet up. You look down, hanging on, and you see as a figure, a terrifying undead woman comes into view right at the bottom.
I'll get you!
Do you keep heading up?
I'm going to drop the billy club and try and hit her in the head. Can I try and do that?
Oh, so you're trying to like drop it onto her? Just like throw it at her?
Can I slow her down?
100%.
No, okay, fine. The way you're talking.
No, you.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna try and slow her down. I'm gonna throw the billy club at her.
Make me a agility roll or an athletics roll. I'm sorry.
Also, Ethan, I wanted to stay in the back because I wanted to turn around when that voice was coming.
Okay.
And try to shoot at it from the bottom of the ladder.
Okay,
before I
so
started
these
heading
two things happen at the... Oh, so you would have waited to try to take a shot as it was coming around the corner. So go ahead and just make me that shooting check as well.
0. Hawthorne got
Zero,
a 0.
okay.
I got a 6.
So with a 6, if it's okay with you, Karina, we'll say that actually you take the shot as you were already on the ladder. Hawthorne throws the billy club down to try to slow it and just plinks away uselessly. But as she looks back up one more time, you just from behind Hawthorne, this echoing loud gunshot, and it impacts into her, and she rears back away from it, and you will have an opening to continue climbing. You catch up to your friends, climbing up this ladder. The rumbling of the house hasn't stopped here on the first floor, but you find yourselves once again in the room that is littered with the bodies of wolves and pieces of them. Brock, your blood still drying in a puddle in here. You all tear through out of this room into the main hall of the first floor where the clock is still broken.
While we're running, I'm going to say to Gloria, hey, look, I know some bad shit's happening to us right now, and I feel like I've been going through some stuff and figured out who I am. Look, I know we may not know each other, who we were beforehand, before we got here, but I feel like maybe we could actually get to know each other now. And what I'm trying to say is, when we make it out of this fucking house, would you want to go somewhere and like get a drink or something, or go on a date? Like maybe there's somewhere nice, like in this hellscape that, you know, it'd be great. I think you're really cool. She's on my shoulder.
Whoever is leading throws open the front door. It swings open, and you all can see that the fog is no longer blocking your path, and there in fact seems to be almost like a hallway, a path cut out of it from the front door path and out.
I'm like still kind of wrapped around your back, so I'll just kind of lean down and be like, yeah, I like that.
Cool. And you just hear purring, like the deepest purr that you could hear. All right, cool. That's cool. And I actually kick the fucking door down and
You all dash out into the pathway in the mists. You can hear the sound of a building collapsing behind you. But as you all run a few more yards and turn around to look and watch it fall, it's not there. And you turn, and what you see are those stout stone, identical buildings and front stoops that you saw when you first arrived in Bridgewater, dropped off by Rahidin. Your clothes, those of you who changed clothes, you're still wearing those clothes, but they are pristine. No blood, no water. The sound of a car driving past on the wet street. And Hawthorne, your arms are empty.
Is the knife that I'd stabbed in my shoulder still there?
No, but the knife wound is.
Okay.
He's going to look around. He's going to look at the house. He's going to pop his coat onto his shoulders. I told you it was a hallucination.
Could all of you make me notice checks really quick?
Hawthorne got a 2.
I got a 10.
4.
I got a 10 as well.
10.
5.
Well, the two of you who got a 10, you are the first ones who notice. Like I said, you are back, looks like pretty much where you were before the kids. Huh. But you glance towards one of the stoops one of the sets of steps leading up to one of the stone plain-faced buildings here. And there are 5 bags set on the stoop nearest to where you all are. And really quick, just a quick out-of-character question for you all about your character. What type of bag would each one of your characters prefer? A messenger bag style or a duffel bag style? Hands up if you want messenger bag. 1, 2, 3.
Can I have like a dainty purse or like a little roller bag? Maybe
Roller
like a
bag.
carpet
You
bag.
can definitely do either roller bag, carpet bag. Which of those do you want?
I feel like a cute little like carpet bag.
Carpet bag it is, and a duffel gym bag style.
It'll be like a military soldier's kind of duffel bag, but I can still strap it across.
Totally.
I need something Indiana Jones, please.
So, you see 5 bags. 1 carpet bag, 3 messenger bags, and 1 duffel bag. All made out of the same fine, rich brown leather. And again, the 2 of you who got 10s because of that raise, you also notice that there are embossed name tags, leather name tags, on each of the bags. One of them says HB, another just B, the third GG, KW, and the third has GP and a small superscript of the number 9 above it. And then all of you notice the bags are there. It's not like you can't see them just because you didn't roll a 10. You just don't see it first.
I think this is your
For
bag.
Karina's, it was a Q, not a W.
KQ. Did I say
KQ,
W?
Yeah.
Oh,
All good.
I have it written down as a Q. I don't know why W came out. KQ. Here, hold on. Let me just re-record the line so I can cut it earlier. KQ. There we go. Look at that. Editing magic.
Let's try. Nine's gonna walk Gloria over to her bag and say, "I think this is yours," and just put her down.
I'll slip down. I'll give you a kiss on the cheek,
Hey,
and then I
purr.
immediately go to open the bag.
So, you go over to the one labeled GG, I
GG.
assume?
Mm-hmm.
There are a few items in here. In here, there is a flashlight, small flashlight, a small umbrella, considering it is currently raining, 20 small crossbow bolts, and a second smaller bag inside this bag. There is also a folded and sealed letter.
After watching Gloria open her bag, I guess Karina will do the same. We'll go and grab her bag and take a step away from everyone before opening it.
Yours also contains a flashlight, an umbrella, a sealed, folded letter. There is also a second letter in here. And a well-oiled Colt Peacemaker with 7 loaded rounds. There is also a small jar in here, about yay big. Sealed at the moment.
Alright.
Once Nine gets his breath and stretches a little bit, finishes purring. He's going to open up his bag.
Okay. Yours.
Take a seat.
Which one do you go for?
One with the little indentation of 9 on it.
It's true, it does have 9 on it. It also has GP. You're not sure why.
Don't know what that means.
Make me a smarts check really quick, if you wouldn't mind, 9.
No, my brain don't work so well. I took too many blows to the head.
What'd you get?
Oh, maybe look. Hey, I have said it beforehand. I set a precedent for it that sometimes my brain works and sometimes it doesn't. I rolled a 5.
Looking at those letters, there are 2 words that you can just hear being repeated. And then one starts with a G and one starts with a P, and it rings familiar to you. You aren't sure why, but you do feel like there was a name associated with you that had those letters. But details are a little fuzzy right now. What you find in there: a flashlight, an umbrella, a letter, and 10 bullets for your 1911, and a thick leather coat. And you can describe it however you would like it to look.
Oh, wonderful. So we're going to take the fucking nice little coat there, and it's a nice looking one. It's well taken care of. Immediately stole that in the back there. Pulls out this wonderful, beautiful, bomber-looking jacket. Well, any like goon that you would see would wear, but it's really, really nice. Hey, he takes the smoking jacket off that he had with him and folds it up, puts it in the bag. Still nice, but hey, fucking good leather. I love me a good coat. Like, you don't understand. The measure of a man is a good coat. It's well worn, makes him look good, and a coat that's actually functional, you know? And he puts the coat down. The wife beater is now back intact. Takes out of the bag a black sweater, a turtleneck that fits perfectly, and then puts the jacket on over top. Hey, look at that, see? Yeah.
And the jacket is a perfect fit. Exactly the way you like it to fit. It's exactly how it fits.
Hey, look at this. Look at your boy.
So Hawthorne's pretty much doesn't even. I know we noticed the bags and everything, but he's kind of wrapped up in his own stuff because he just had a baby in his arms, and he's kind of in a weird spot because he was covered in a bunch of shit, had a baby in his arms, and now it's all gone, and he's just standing there, and he's wondering if any of it's true. So he's kind of just standing there staring down at his hands. He hasn't walked over to the bags yet.
Take a Benny.
Is that Benny gonna roll over?
No, but enjoy it anyway.
While everyone's been opening their bag, he's just got his arms crossed and his eyes are just perplexed. He throws his hands down and he walks over to what he assumes is his bag. I assume this contains some gift, and he gestures above from our wonderful puppeteer, and he's gonna flip open the bag. He's pissed.
A letter, an umbrella, a flashlight. There is a vial in here of a sparkling, not luminescent, but when it catches the light of a lightning strike, you can see that it sparkles slightly. It's this teal color.
What are you?
There is also, folded up in here, a long black leather coat.
He just holds it. Well, he's gonna take off the jacket that he's wearing and he's gonna throw it down where he picked up his bag, and he's gonna toss this one on. He's gonna transfer his files and put that new one in a far pocket away from others.
And this leather coat isn't like Nine's, which is cut to the hip or waist. This is an overcoat.
Cool.
So Hawthorne will pretty much just sort of scruff his way over and sit at the bottom of the stoop on the bottom step and just say, 9 is one of mine up there. Can you just throw it to me?
Yeah, sure, no problem. I'm not going to throw it. I'm going to take it to him. Hey. He's going to get down. Hey. Good, big man?
I'm okay. I'm going through something. I just need a second, I think.
Hey, it's okay. Take all the time you need. But look, pat you on the shoulder. You got us, okay? Look, we survived. We got out of this. I told you. Okay? Big lummox. And he gets up and walks back over.
We will never be the same, that's for sure. And he opens up his bag.
A letter, an umbrella, a flashlight. Oh, I'm sorry, no flashlight for you. You already have a flashlight. There is instead a flare gun with 2 rounds. There is also a thick leather jacket in here, but it's the final item that really catches your attention, Hawthorne. It is a well-made cowboy hat. But as you take it out, unlike what you had, the cap section, the crown of it, feels reinforced with metal lining.
Hawthorne just... well, fuck. Kind of angry that he's a little happy about something that was given to him.
I was going to ask if I noticed everyone else get a letter, and if I could match whatever's written on the front of that letter to one of the 2 letters I have,
So,
if they're at all different.
I would say not everyone is trying to conceal what they have, so you definitely see a few of these letters. And while there isn't anything written on the outside, they all share the same seal.
Is that seal the same on both of my letters?
Yeah. Yes, they are.
Okay. I'm just gonna hold up one of them. Did you all get a letter as well?
Yeah.
Somebody want to do the honors?
Pops a claw, rips open the thing.
You see 9, the same flowing, well-practiced hand that has adorned a number of letters so far. And what I would like you to do, I would love you to read out loud the letter that you read, but before you do, does 9 read it out loud, or is this just Mav doing it for us?
Oh, no, this would be 9. I mean, hey, everybody got the same letter like last time, so hey, I share it open, whatever. It is my distinguished pleasure to be the first to welcome you to Bridgewater and Baroviaville, my city and my home. I hope you will soon do me the honor of a face-to-face introduction. Okay. I make it my business to know the movers and shakers around the city. Your recent performance was delightfully decadent that I almost felt guilty peeking in. I mean, you were in our heads the whole time. But it did, however, remove any doubt from my mind that you are the right people for my needs. Got a job, cool. I'm sure you are still feeling a little out of sorts, but that is absolutely normal, and you will be right as rain before long. I hope that this care package will help you in your early days in Baroviaville and make you feel more at home. Until our first meeting, your humble servant, Dradia von Zorovich. Yeah.
You had it.
Thanks. Long ass fucking letter. Got a nice drip though.
As he read that one out, can I have because I kind of pulled myself away a little bit from the group, can I just, as stealthy as possible, open my second letter and read, act as if I'm reading along to what he is saying, but read this other letter?
It's much shorter. I believe that determination, self-sacrifice, and the utilitarian perspective are laudable traits, and as such, deserve rewarding. The letter was, initially when you opened the bag, tucked into a little bit of the wrapping of the jar. So those two were clearly a unit.
She will kind of fold that one and put it in her jacket pocket and just kind of place the other one just on the stoop. Kind of huck it down.
I'm gonna take my letter and I'm just gonna drop it. I don't like mail.
Okay. And Brock is just gonna and he's gonna go pick it up and he's gonna put it behind his and fold it up just to keep it safe.
So don't write you love letters? Okay, good.
Well, that could be different.
If I hand it to you?
That's better.
Different? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What about poetry?
Maybe. I'll consider.
I don't know about all of you, but 9 had mentioned a drink. Should we find somewhere to stay? I don't know about you guys, but I could use a fucking rest.
You can see, off the direction that you noticed it when you first got here, a flashing green neon sign, along with several street lamps casting feeble light that direction. But while you were reading your letters, the faint red light from the large, distant Z up in the sky was the main illumination. And as you all start heading towards the street lamps and the flashing green neon light of what reveals itself to be a motel/bar. And the name of the motel that you can see is the Morning Mist Motel, with a U. And Bottle's Bottom Bar. There is a sickly yellow light that is cascading out from the bar section and pouring into the fog and mists of the Bridgewater streets. Thank you for listening to this episode of The City of the Crimson Tower. Gloria was played by Anna Margaret, Karina by Maddie, 9 by Mav, Hawthorne by Sally, and Brock by Lauren. And Ethan did all the other stuff.